Okay. By the way, I went live already. Oops. He should be able to share his screen whenever. Oh, he popped out. All right. Well, he'll pop back in.
We can start.
Anyway, so yeah, we're just gonna do some team gratitudes, and then we're gonna move on to a tech demo. We've got a bunch of different stuff that we're gonna be showing you guys today. Speaking of which, Gary built all this. It's still every once in a while when I fly in here, I'm just like, God damn, that's a lot. Anyway,
so Gary, we have been at this for a while,
right? It's not our first day. I was telling somebody I flew in here and like, when we were doing that, Super Sam and I were doing that, the sort of little demo for the reset mindset dudes. And just telling about like, yeah, the first Tunnel Huddle, I just kind of dug a hole down at the very bottom, and that's still sitting there, and it's fun. And then it's just like, we burst out of the ocean, and it's become this whole thing. I don't know. I fucking love it. Anyway, Gary, what are you grateful for that isn't my health?
I am grateful for everybody still playing with us and being around and using our services and providing us feedback and give us a lot of help. So I'm very grateful for the community, the Uplift community.
Okay. I was trying to figure out how to edit that novel down, but yeah, Uplift community is that sums it up. Amen to that. Without these core, group of crazy people, we'd be a lot more bored than we are. It's a great way to start the beginning of the next bull run. I mean, we got to be hitting bottom today, right? I shouldn't say that because then it'll go lower, but soon, if not now. Chris, what are you grateful for this morning?
I think Wombat this morning.
If anybody didn't check it out, it's had Adrian on the channel in the last hour. And they actually set us up with they're going to be adding us the Uplift into the Dungeon Worlds thing that's going to launch in 6 months. They're doing land and groups of land entities are going to be able to kind of run their own dungeon, which means that the Uplift DAO will be able to decide what things are going to be stakeable and what the rewards will be, and we're going to be getting some Wombat token for that and all that kind of stuff. So it's they're just rad.
And I might just take a second one to be grateful for Gary and Dennis, because it's been a long time building up to this demo, and I'm very excited.
Thanks.
Into that. Yeah, I'm grateful for the builders, which is Gary, Dennis, Wombat, everybody on our team in the staff thing all the time that's coming in ideas, all the people in the DAO channel that are doing stuff. We went in to do this. Super Sam and I were in doing the little demo thing yesterday or the day before, whatever day it was. And I flew out like for the kind of one of the first times I flew out past the gratitude towers here. Oh, I was being game. Sorry, I totally thought I was just like and there's even around the gratitude tower, like the Uplifters towers, there's a bunch of stuff I've never seen before, like just tons, to the point where
people are still building. What do you think? It's not finished.
Of course they really are. It's I don't know. That's always been one of my favorite things since the very beginning, right? Like you kind of fly off in a direction, like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? It's a giant edifice of, and somebody had like, and I've seen a few like sort of biomes in a bottle or whatever. This is like a big, huge hourglass thing, and it was just completely and totally nuts. Anyway. Dennis back in here. Sorry, Dennis.
Hi again.
Hey, Evo's in the comments here. Feel free to throw a gratitude up there, Evo, and I'll put it up on the team wall. Dennis, what are you grateful for this morning?
For a working internet connection.
Fair enough. Brilliant. Apparently I can't type for crap. All right. Okay. Anybody else have extras? And scene. All right. Let's do work.
That's you, Dennis.
Let's see. I hope it works this time.
So maybe a small introduction. The goal today is to show what we've been working on towards mind tests, both on the front end and on the back end. It's more of a technology preview. Not everything is set in stone. Just a big disclaimer that some things might change, some things might improve. We always take feedback from the community on these matters. There should be a live link. Yes, someone's asking.
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Maybe paste the link to everybody so they can get to it.
On it.
Awesome.
Okay.
And we welcome feedback. So if you guys have questions, please ask them. You can certainly do that now. We'll try and answer them while we do a presentation, but it might be at the end. And those questions that we may not be able to answer, we'll get back to you on that and with an answer with that as well. So
Yeah,
that's the idea.
interesting. It still won't let me share.
Won't let you share. I think Corey has to give you permission or something.
No, that you start with permission to share. Or you can send me the link. Worst case scenario.
Oh, it's something that's running on his home system, I think.
Yeah, it's some Mac issue, I think, because I need to be protected
Oh, okay.
from what I want to do.
Right. Freaking Mac. Yeah, if you want to send me the link, I'll put it up on mine and we'll go through it that way.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Is it up? Is it live somewhere on the internet? Okay, I thought this was running on your home system.
Or is it?
Oh, that's the question. I don't know where his server is running, his front end. Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, it is on the internet. Nice.
Boom.
Yeah, it's basically the development version.
I know everybody's going to click on that and try it out.
Yeah, that was not planned, but I can prevent it.
Excellent.
All right. So, what are we looking at? I mean, here's the site. Everybody will recognize this.
Yeah, it will be basically the foundation of our new Uplift app system. I think it will be something like our own Steam metaverse system. So
Awesome.
broad platforms that will be able to do a lot of things eventually. But yeah, we are just starting at the moment.
All
this
right.
works. So if you have no account, signing up already works.
Oh, crazy. I suppose I should create a new account. Please hold. All right. That's I like that referral code down there. Just to point that out.
Yeah, it's already working, but the DAO has not decided what to give people
What to do with
actually.
it.
So, oh yeah, exactly. You would need to verify your email in Siri, but not now.
Okay.
It's not required. Yeah, what you are looking at is the main wizard. You can scroll a little bit down. Oh, and the first achievement.
Oh yeah.
And
Gratitude journey achievement. Yay.
yeah, they can also play a bigger role. If you scroll down, you can see what you eventually will see. So this is first draft of it. Basically, a short wizard if you just want to go on, and a longer one that also make you do first things and rewards you for it.
That's awesome.
Maybe.
And really, like going from the just kind of the principle of like there's so many things to do, so many things to see, in the Uplift. We've been talking for a long time about how do we sort of take people by the hand and just do one little step at a time and make it really fun and engaging. And this seems like it's a really awesome move in that direction.
Yeah, we can do basically everything, but since we have everything in one app, that's the cool thing.
Mhm.
And in the process, you will be able to hook up your Vex wallet, your ETH wallet, and be able to do things with it, of course. And if you scroll up again, at least the go forward button should work.
Which one? Sorry.
The thing on the right one, yeah. It should just take you to the index page. And if you scroll down a bit, this is the first demonstrator. It's called gratitude. If you hit the gratitude button. So you have claimed your first gratitude, and this is not a currency, but just something that stacks. And it measures all kinds of in-app activity and rewards you with points for it.
Right, and then we can do, we depending on seasons or wherever we're at, I imagine we can do points for shards or for uplifting them or basically anything we want, right?
Yeah, or doing a transaction or whatever we want. Exactly, and can also reward people with stages. And also could say, okay, a referral will bring 1,000 gratitude, for example. And of course, you will have a big gratitude part. Oh, yeah, a rudimentary EPT3, but really rudimentary at the moment. And
that's awesome.
If you go up a little bit,
okay,
a bit more. You see your UDT rank in the upper right corner. It's a traveler at the moment, but we plan to have this in correlation to the UDT you hold. So the system will notice, and you will get a rank, and will be able to do whatever the DAO decides you can do. Maybe have perks or something like this.
Yeah, no, I love that idea. Like having perks for UDT, for DAO token ownership is going to be really cool. I imagine we can have private Discord channels or events or all sorts of different kinds of things that will be all set up.
And I'll go into more details when I show the mind test side of things.
Okay. All right.
Next to it, you see the messaging system, which is down at the moment.
This right here.
Yeah, and if you click on the profile, yeah, exactly. My inventory is not working yet. It is basically something that, some kind of our own marketplace and your inventory combined. That means you will have your blockchain wallets. It will be able to import and export NFTs. So we can handle things inside the database and do a lot of things with it without having to pay fees or being basically I need to do blockchain related activities, but we can anytime. We can also read the wallets, and you will be able to also get your stuff as it is in your Intel inventory out again.
Awesome.
That leaves us with many possibilities, especially if we introduce multiple games. Because, for example, if we think about a mind test, if you sign up for mind test and go to the mind test related steps, you might be also able to pick other mini games eventually that build up on it in the main app version and other stuff. So we can also extend running games. That would be maybe a cool thing, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
The account is already working, I think, if you click on that, but it's still ugly.
Still, I love that cat. That's awesome.
Yeah, the generic avatar.
Right. So this will show, how much upliftium I've got, the DAO rank based on the amount of uplift DAO tokens I have, how many gratitudes I've earned by coming in and clicking every day. And then the referral code. So, and again, we haven't decided what to reward people with, but basically I'll have this referral code if I want to encourage people to sign up, and they use this referral code, then, I mean, like maybe I get more gratitude points or whatever, right? Or shards,
No,
or however we want it.
you'll get perks in game, but we'll show some examples of that.
Probably
Okay.
a good
Of
time to
course.
just interrupt and make it super clear to everybody that what we're showing here is all the tech that has been developed now, so that these are things that are possible. But now is the time for the DAO to get involved and to
Right.
see any of these features like this that we've shown off and say, look, this is how I think it should be implemented. This is what I think we should do with it.
Right.
The group of people developing these things haven't spent a bunch of time balancing it or thinking about that. It's been about getting these features ready. So,
Yep.
you know, lots of discussion after this.
Correct.
Yep.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just these are just the tools the DAO gets to decide sort of how we implement them. Which
Yeah, at the
thank you.
bottom you have some kind of log. It's useful also sometimes.
What's
If
that?
you scroll down, you also have some kind of first action log. So that
Oh, yeah, look at that.
tells you what you did, just
well,
in case you need to know.
We'll spell claim with an L, but again,
Oh.
this is
The
a
folks
Yeah,
in
test,
typo development version.
testing.
The
Yeah,
folks in
100%.
support will say thank you for that.
Right,
That will
there
be
you go.
helpful.
And yes, we also have a admin backend, but it's also still rudimentary, but can be very powerful as well later on.
Yeah,
And
That's
of course, since we also will have Upliftium in the app,
Mhm.
one of the first parts of the app we can actually build would be the event system, for example, and could potentially people be able to be friends with others or make people able to see who is taking part in the event or make it possible to take an Upliftium fee for joining events, all this fun stuff, since we all have all information in one place, basically.
awesome.
Oh, the cats are getting angry.
The cats are excited as well.
Yeah, that was just the first glance. So we do not stagnate. We are building the next version.
Love it. Thank you, Dennis. Yeah, that all that stuff is exciting. I think we definitely have a lot of stuff to play with and chew on for sure.
All right, I'm going to share my screen.
Do it up.
Switch over to, let's see if this works. Share. Should be able to see my
Boom.
screen, my mind test screen. Try and make it as big as I can. Let's see, not too big. All right. So most people are going to be using the mind test client to play mind tests. It is not the only way to play mind test. You also have a mobile version on Android that is available. There's a browser version of mind tests that is also available. They all have their advantages and disadvantages. I would say that the most features, the most complete experience comes from the mind test client itself, which is available on multiple platforms, not just Windows. It's available on Linux, it's available on Windows, on Mac. But the mobile version, of course, is the easiest one to use by far. Well, the easiest one when you're mobile, I would say, not from a user interface point of view. And the browser one seems to have been also one that's pretty popular among certain people as well. So I just wanted to point out that these are all possibilities. Right now, I'm just going to show you the Windows mind test client version. Now, it's not the most pretty client out there. I completely agree with that. We're attempting not to write our own clients and all the work that comes with distributing and maintaining that on our end. So we're just going to be using the default standard Mindtest client that's out there in the world. But what we're going to do is we're going to not use the registration system that Mindtest has for allowing you to create a new account. This will not happen through the Mindtest client. It will happen through the web user interface that you just saw Dennis demonstrate, where there's going to be a much easier onboarding experience through that than to use this Mindtest client, which is not going to be able to know what your Wax wallet is and what your UDT balance is and things like that are not going to come from here. If I'm going too fast, by the way, let me know and I'll slow down because I have a tendency to go really fast. All right. So what happens if I try to log in with a completely wrong name that doesn't exist? So let's try and do so. One of two things happen: either the complete client stops, or it's simply going to tell you, sorry, we actually don't allow account creation through this user interface. Please go to, and it will point to where eventually we're going to be hosting our web application, which likely could be entered.theuplift.world or something similar to that effect. If you have a account that does exist, which demo user is one, then you will be able to log into the system, which I'm doing right now. And I'm logging in with a new user that has never logged in before in Mindtests. This is a test world that I'm running at home. Eventually, this will become our first Mindtests boonies world, right? The boonies is what we decide. The DAO has decided to call this world. It will be a 1024 by 1024 blocks size map with plots that are going to be 32 by 32 in size. However, the depth and the height of the plot is going to be different than what you're used to. In Minecraft, it went all the way down to -64 and all the way up to +256. We've decided for Mindtest to double the depth, but to keep the height. So essentially, it will go all the way down to -128 and all the way up to +256. That will be the height of your plot. So that means you get more ore and more blocks with your land in Mindtest than you did with Minecraft. When you log in the first time in the world, whether it's during daytime or nighttime, I'm going to see if I can. No, I can't switch it. I had hoped I could change the time. Let me see if I have the permissions to do that. I do not. All right, no worries. I am a regular user who just logged into Mindtest for the first time, and one of the first things you're going to notice in my top right corner is I have a bit of an informational HUD showing up, telling me that I am a traveler in terms of the VIP rank. This is exactly matching what Dennis showed in the web application. So these are going to come from the same source. The rank is computed based on your UDT balance. Therefore, if you log in for the first time and you do not have an Ethereum wallet and you don't own any UDT, then you're simply going to have the lowest rank, which is the rank of traveler. If, however, you link an Ethereum wallet with MetaMask to your account and we're able to find some UDT in your wallet, at that point, the rank gets recomputed and you get a higher rank. There are about 7 or 8 different ranks available, all the way up to DAO Master, I think, is the highest one. That might be even higher. Corey probably would know. He's the highest one. And then the rest is computed based out of exactly the same information. So you're going to get something called travel credits. These credits allow you to use the portals. Each time you use a portal, depending on what type of portal it is, you're going to have a different cost. I'll be demonstrating that today, so don't worry about it. I will show you how this works. As a new user who just joined Mindtest, you will get for free 20 credits, which will be enough to use 20 times a portal. And you do not get a trader discount. Trader discount is essentially a discount on purchasing items from the shop. From the server shop, to be exact. And it's possible that we will also include that as a discount on the fee that the DAO takes out of each player-to-player shop transaction that happens in the game. Whenever Lithium is involved with a transaction, of course, not item-to-item exchanges. Again, these are examples. These are not what we're actually going to do. This is up to the DAO to decide what would be a good idea to implement. I've added the technical ability to have a discount. Now it's up to us to decide what the discount should apply to. Okay. On top of that, the last item that you see on the HUD is called VIP shares. That is essentially just showing you the proportion of UDT that you have compared to all UDT currently in circulation. I believe it's 100 million that's currently circulating in total. And so this is just going to be a number that shows how much you have, because eventually the DAO, the mind test world will be collecting fees from all kinds of different sources, from sales, from robots repairs, from tool repairs. There's going to be different things that you're doing in the world that will require you to spend some Upliftium, and that Upliftium is going to go into a pool, and a portion of that's going to be used for rewards, a portion of that's going to be used for funding projects, and then eventually a portion of that's going to go back to the users depending on your VIP shares. The more VIP shares you have, the more you get. So it's a revenue sharing system that is based on your UDT holding. And you'll be able to see, so in a moment I'll log in with someone who does have UDT, and then you'll see the difference. So right now I don't have any UDT, I'm a new user, and that's not available. If I go down just briefly here, hey Mr. Panda. I always get a panda. Hopefully I'm not going to crash. Yes, I am. There you go. This is minus 128. This should be familiar to anybody who plays Minecraft. I've reused the same bedrock textures. You cannot destroy this. This is basically the bottom of the world. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to be a bit different. Mindtest is actually an enormous map. It's 31,000 blocks by 31,000 blocks by 31,000 blocks in height. So you can, in fact, it goes to 64,000 blocks in height because it's from minus 31,000 to plus 31,000. Of course, that's way too big for us to use in the beginning. But that doesn't mean that we're not planning on using bigger and bigger chunks of the world. So what we've decided to do is we're going to be setting a bedrock every 128 blocks going down. So the first 128 blocks is yours. That's part of your plot. And then the next 128 blocks are going to be opening up after a while. What we'll do is we'll add a portal. Through that portal, you can get to the depth 129 down to 256. And then suddenly your plot will have another 128 levels worth of blocks available to you. How we're going to make that available, for what purpose, and whether it's going to be free, that's a good question. Something, food for thought, I would say. And it's not limited to just one layer, right? We can have every 128 block is a new layer of 128 levels that opens up for use with the world. As we find that maybe we're running out of resources and we need more, we'll just open up more layers underneath into the depth as we go down. That's the idea here. Okay. Questions, Corey? I can see you impatiently asking something.
No. Honestly, like I think you're framing everything in the right way, right? Like we just want to basically show off, like these are the kinds of things that are possible, and I know there's a lot more. And then everything after that we can start to iterate with on the DAO. I mean, just like between what both of you guys has spent grinding out in the background, like just the number of tools that we're gonna have to be able to keep things interesting and keep things moving is it's really spectacular, man. This is awesome.
So I'm here at level 256, and you can see there's a invisible sky rock. This is what I call it. It's essentially an invisible block you cannot destroy. It's blocking you from going higher. You can build all the way up to here. It's letting light through, so it's not really a visual impediment, but it is a one way that we have to stop people from going, because they will try to go all the way up to 31,000. Why not? And sorry to disappoint, there is no heaven in 31,000 yet. We might add it later.
Yes. Who knows?
Not yet, but
like enough gratitude practice, and that could just end up being a thing that you just find.
So I'm going to go back to that's what I thought was going to happen, that I was going to die. So this is my little test ground that I've built to show off some of the features that we've added to Mindtest. My big hat to Might Possibly, who has been generating a lot of custom textures for us that look 100 times better than the default Mindtest textures. He's been working on glass. He's been working on different types of doors. He's been improving the clay. He's been improving our own custom blocks, which I'll be showing off soon. We've been making our own beds. Mitzi has been helping with that. And so, the sea blocks are even better. That's the sea lanterns. I mean, that's Corey's going to be happy about that. There's 16 different colors of them as well, not just one. And then, of course, our portals is going to be TravelNet. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to use one, you can. Right now, I have 20 travel credits in my top right corner. If I use it to go to the battle arena, my travel credits just went down to 19. So every time I use the door, it's going to be 1 travel credit to go to the battle arena. We're going to come back to the battle arena. Don't worry about that. But just one thing at a time. If I go back to the HQ and I want to use the other portal to go to the balloon area, that one is actually more expensive. If I go there, I just lost 10 travel credits. I'm down to 8. So in fact,
it's funny. I hadn't seen that where you can set different travel credit prices for.
That's right. There's 16 different colors for the portals, but it's not tied to the color. It's tied to the network name. Basically, portals belong to a network, an assigned network. We can have as many networks as we want. We can make a network for certain types of buildings. We can make a network for events. We can make a network for gratitude places. We can make a network for galleries. I mean, there's no limit to how many networks we can create, but the cost is associated to the network name.
Okay.
Essentially. Right now, it's something that I have to set as an administrator. I'm hoping that I'll be able to give a user interface where you can go in as an owner of an event network, of a network that you can go set your own costs to it. Like, this is more for private networks, which we haven't gotten into yet. Right now, we're talking about publicly maintained network by the Uplift.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, that again, like another tool where as a DAO, we can sort of take a look at how we want to best incorporate this into our new experience.
So I want to use it, and I can't because I don't have 10 credits, so I can't use it anymore to go back. I'm going to have to go on foot, or I can take the balloon here. So again, might possibly has helped us create the textures to improve other mods that are available in Mindtest. The balloon, everybody has seen those. They're really fun. You use a coal. You step inside just like a boat. You use a piece of coal, and then you start to basically float into the air for 10 minutes. You can decide to go up or down with spacebar or sneak, and it's a great way to visit land from the air without elytra wings that everybody has and all those things. I'm sure they're fun, but I think it's funnier to use a balloon. Someone's been asking, why can't we do ice boat racing? So I added that into Mindtest. Does not have ice boat racing. It does not exist by default, so I've added it in. I just have to fix the little problem that it's floating instead of being on ice, but I'll fix it.
Hover boat racing sounds
hover boat racing
better.
But it's definitely working, and as far as I'm concerned, it's fast. And also, it actually works outside of ice as well. It's just a lot slower.
Okay.
But yeah, very slow.
Yeah, right.
So I definitely have to work on that. But we'll be able to do ice boat racing. That's the idea, right? I didn't want to remove that capability. I thought it was a pretty fun event that we had that we still have in Minecraft today.
Yeah.
And this is definitely something we will be able to. So whoever has been creating those on the Minecraft, yes, you can come and create them on Mindtest. It works just fine. All right, let me go back to the main test area here. You may have noticed that there's some Christmas thing going on here. This is also available on the test server. This is temporary. This is an override of the textures of the trees. It will go away on the 1st of January automatically. Same thing for the icy sludge effect going on here in water. It's all part of the Christmas mods. This is not my work. Someone else did this. I added it in, and I adjusted it to make it a little bit nicer with what we were doing. So play around with it. It's available on test server today, I would say. All right, what else? Let's see. So one of the big things that we're going to need to be able to do is, okay, I'm a new user. I just spent all my travel credits. Where do I go to get more? How do I get more? How do I improve my stats? And so the answer is twofold. Number one, keep doing things in the game because you get awards. in the game when you do things. Even if you just take your pickaxe and you go down underground and you go and start digging some stone, after a certain amount of stones, you get an award that says, hey, you've just dug your first 10 or your first 100 blocks. So we have a concept of awards. Minetest already had those. We have expanded them. You can see them, by the way, in your inventory under awards. There's a long list of possible awards that can be gotten by doing things inside Minetest. We've added a few of our own, so we'll keep expanding them. They're related to the battle robots, essentially, right now. Obviously, they have our own textures. Might possibly has helped with that as well. And whenever you win any one of those awards, you are going to get a little bit, like a little dust, travel credits. So 2 travel credits, depending on how complicated and difficult the award is. Easy awards will give you 2 credits. The better the award, the higher the credits that you get. That way you get a little bit of, just enough to be able to move a bit around, but not enough to really be comfortable and not having to worry about it. If you do not want to worry about it and you want to have an enormous amount of travel credits, you can purchase them with Upliftium. Where do you purchase them? Very good question. Well, we have a server shop. It's a single block that we'll be putting at multiple places around the world, but they share the same. There's only one universal Uplift shop. We can put multiple of them around the world to make it easy to access, but it will all be pointing at the single backend system that services this shop. If you go into the shop, it will show you the current items that are available. It shows you a little icon on the right that says that shows you what this is. Depending on what you click, it changes. So if it's a diamond, it's a diamond. If it's a smart shop, it's a smart shop. If it's a locked chest, it's a locked chest. Depending on what we add in here, there'll be a different Upliftium cost to it. My idea is that this price will be dynamic based on multiple things. I'm not going to divulge exactly how we're going to compute it. That'll be part of the journey, I would say, for the community to discover. But you'll be able to purchase. So for instance, the bronze travel pass, if I purchase that, I don't have any Upliftium balance because I'm a new user who just joined with no UDT, no Liftium, no nothing. If I want to upgrade my Upliftium balance, I have to send a 1 million Upliftium NFT to Dennis's front-end website. Remember, he was talking to you about the inventory. That's one place where this will happen, I believe, right? Or is it a separate section, Dennis? You're muted,
Yeah,
I
we
think.
will see, but it will be definitely also possible to just merge them into your inventory.
So you take a 1 million NFT, a 1 million Upliftium NFT, you send it to the web app. That will signal to the service that is servicing this. It's a backend API service, Uplift services, I call it. It's going to tell it that 1 million Liftium is now accredited to this account. And then you'll see it in game, and I'll show you in a moment when I log in with someone who does have an account what happens. Right now, I can't purchase anything because I don't have any Upliftium. So if I try to buy it, it's going to say you do not have enough Upliftium to purchase this, and then it comes back into the user interface. Someone was asking me that they want to see a visual thing of an error when they try to do something, or a visual thing of something is okay because they have sound turned off. Well, that's my answer. My answer is you get some text on the screen and then you go back to the user interface. How's that? Is that good enough? So
That
that's the best I can do.
Totally.
All right, so I'll come back to this user interface, but this is basically going to be the main way you'll be able to purchase items. The value will change depending on how popular an item is, and it will also change based on, of course, the value of Lithium versus wax. And there will be other variables that will be added into the mix as well. Event-based things, I think. All right, so I'll get back to that. We'll purchase something, but I'm a new user, so I can't do anything here. The other thing you can do is you can open up your user inventory. Minetest has a very nice mod called Unified Inventory. This is what this looks like. It's actually a combination of 2 mods. It's Unified Inventory Plus, which allows to have all these little nice, easy to use buttons here at the top. People are going to recognize those. They exist in Minecraft as well. Essentially, when you put multiple blocks and you have to spread them around manually, it's very time intensive. People don't like to do that too much. So there's little convenience buttons to very quickly spread the blocks the way you need it to be for a specific recipe. That way, you'll be able to much quickly create the item that you need, essentially. And if you don't need it, you just press X and it goes back into your inventory. So those are very nice convenience blocks. The other thing is you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to make an item. Just click on it and it will tell you. Every single item in the game is immediately available at the start. And if you want to know how to make it, just click on it and it will show you what the items are. It's very, very easy. I'm sure that we'll eventually end up making a getting started guide anyway, because it's easy to get lost in 25 pages of items. I think we need to kind of give a progression, like how should you start? What should you start with? How do you move along? You know, things like that. You don't have to make all of these items. Some of them are going to be cosmetic, like they're nice to look at, but they might not be very useful. You know, others are going to want to play the survival game, and they're going to be much more worried about tools. So you have little convenience category items at the top, in which you can choose specifically just to see tools, or specifically just to see candles, fireworks. There's many multiple blocks to choose from, much more than Minecraft right now. All right, so coming back at the bottom here, there are a whole bunch of blocks, the buttons. There are convenience buttons to help you set certain things. Your spawn position, you know, your home position, where to go back to when you die, that's a button. So you no longer have to worry about having to put down a bed somewhere and then jump into it. You just press this button wherever you are, and that's going to be where you go back to when you die. That's number one. Number two is go home. That's basically go back to your spawn position at will. I might actually disable that because I can see how that gets abused. There's bags. So bags is a way to improve the size of your inventory. I don't have any here, but if I make one and I add it into this slot, I'll have another, I don't know, 6 or 7, depending on the size of the bag. So you can basically have more than just the 4x8 default inventory. This is, I think, not something we had in Minecraft, bags, right? I think we just had our default inventory, if I remember correctly. I know they exist as a mod, but we never really installed it on the server.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Waypoints is extremely useful. That's for a way to actually set waypoints. So if you see something really interesting in the world and you want to remember where is it, Gratitude Tower or the arena battle, you can set a waypoint and it will visually show you where it is compared to where you are right now. So this only allows 5 waypoints, but that should be more than enough to begin. So play around with that feature. It's really, really well thought, well designed in my opinion. Skins is probably the first thing you're going to do when you go into the game. Is essentially change how you look. There's right now 13 pages because we're in test mode. The actual database has 74 pages of textures. A lot of them, unfortunately, are, well, we're not 100% sure that they all are, that they all have a license that allows us to use it. So we're going to have to go through it and make sure that it's okay. I think most of them are Creative Commons, so it should be fine. But we are going to be allowing our own textures to be added, of course, because I already had a few players say, hey, I want to add my character. How do I do this? It can be done. That's no problem. Because these are basically using the Minecraft texture format as input. So if you have a Minecraft texture and you want to add it to the database, let me know, and we'll be able to, probably for a price later, we'll be able to add it to the database as well. For now, it's just 74 pages of random Creative Commons textures that are out there. There's quite a lot. So you can just pick one that you like. And once you're happy with one, that's it, you press change. And you can see here the license and who's the author of that particular texture shows up so that there's no confusion about who owns the rights to the texture. Okay? CC by SA, by the way, is fine. Those are basically open to everyone to use. So you'll never have any problem with a common Creative Commons license by SA are fine. The ones that you have to keep an eye on, according to might possibly, are the MIT ones. Those are the ones that we have to be a bit more careful about allowing into an open source game. Yeah. The raw texture, I don't know why I'm showing that, because it's no point, in my opinion. All right, so the awards you already know. And then so I added a new button called the Uplift Info button. If you click on that, it is going to basically show you quickly an overview of all the stats that are unique to the Uplift regarding your character. It's going to be how much Upliftium you have, what VIP rank you have, how many travel credits you have, your trader discount, your corporate shares, and then something new called plot gems, which you've never seen before. What are plot gems, are you going to tell me? Well, it's very, very, very simple. If you own any land in any world on the Uplift, it will grant you a certain amount of gems every day. Essentially, it's a pool, and that pool is divided over all the land that has been registered with us. So that means people who have actually joined and are actively participating with mind tests, not passive people who have never or are only holding the NFT in their wallet and are not actually participating in mind tests. So you have to register through the website. You have to create a username and password for mind test. You have to actually log into mind test, and then your land will start generating plot gems. Right now, I don't have any plot gems because I just joined as a new user. In a moment, I'll switch it to a user who has plot gems, and I'll show you what happens. And essentially, every day, you'll be able to claim your gems from inside the game, and they will appear physically inside your inventory. And then I'm going to show you what you'll be able to do with them. So let me do that now. I'm going to switch over to a user who has more than what a new user would get. So I'm just going to go out here, exit out, and then I'm going to log in as Mighty. So Mighty has a certain amount of UDT, and you can kind of see it on the top right corner. He has a trader discount of 25%. He's got 9 travel credits. He had more, but I've used it all. His VIP rank is Elder instead of a Traveler, and he's got 2,459 VIP shares, which entitles him to a portion of the revenue that this server is going to be building up over time. If I go to my inventory and I go to the Uplift, you can see that I have a certain amount of unclaimed plot gems associated with my account. So I can actually click. So I'm actually first going to get rid of my inventory because I've been playing around with this, of course, earlier today. So I don't have any gems. There you go. So if I go back to the Uplift info, I have 59 unclaimed plot gems. If you push the claim gems, I will claim all the gems. Now someone's going to tell me, hey, watch out, there's a maximum of 64 that you can hold in one slot in mind tests, or Minecraft actually. The answer is, in Minecraft, yes, 64 is the maximum stack size. In mind tests, the maximum stack size is 64,000. So we don't have to ever worry about stacking too much together and running out of space. Now, that doesn't mean that every item is allowing you to use 64,000 as the stack. Most of them will only allow up to 99. I believe that's the mind test default that I've seen in use by many objects. I have decided to tell the server to give gems a special state and to actually use the full 64,000. So if I click claim gems, I now have 59 gems that just appeared here. It actually went and talked to a backend system. It's asked for permission to claim those gems. The server gave permission, came back, and then the gems were actually given to me in game. At that point, it's registered in the backends, and if I log out and log in back, it's all back to zero, and I can't claim until the day is over and a new amount of gems has been attributed to my account, of course. And once a day, there's a cron job that will run and do this. So I now have gems. What do I do with it? Well, multiple things. Number one, if you have a broken tool, which I do not have, so let's go and break stuff. So I'm just going to take my pickaxe here, and I'm going to go and break a couple of blocks and just get some damage. I should probably have been better if I took a diamond pickaxe, but that's fine. All right, and now I have a damaged pickaxe and I want to repair that pickaxe. One thing you may have noticed already by playing on our test server is mine test tools have low durability and they die really fast. This is on purpose. I am sorry to say that I will not be improving the durability of the tools for now. You'll have to repair them if you want to improve them, or you have to make more of them. We will be introducing the concept of upgrades for durability in the future, but right now that's not going to be the case. We're going to leave it the way it is by default, the way it was intended to be played in vanilla at the moment. You can place your pickaxe on an anvil. That's no different than on Minecraft. You can take a blacksmith hammer that you have to create, and then when you left click on your pickaxe, it is going to consume a plot gem every time you do it. See, it just went to 57 and now it's full health, so it's no longer consuming plot gems. If I were to take my pickaxe again and go and destroy a few more blocks, but this time I don't have any plot gems, so let's do that just to prove to you that this all works. So I've created a little bit more damage. I'm going to go back to my anvil. I'm going to throw away all of my gems except for one. So I now have one gem left. I'm going to repair my and I can't anymore because I don't have any gems left. So you can see at the top right corner, it says you need plot gems to repair your items. That will eventually become the same visual message that you saw earlier with the server shop. I haven't applied it everywhere just yet, but that's the idea, of course. So you'll be able to see. So yes, you will need plot gems to repair any tool. You can also go to Trader Adam here. There'll be multiple of them spread around. They will not be something a player will be making. Or hoarding or storing in an underground dungeon with 500 of them.
Or absconding with, or
they will be Uplift managed items, shall I say? I'll probably make it that you can't kill them and that you can't move them and that they just stay there and stare at you, essentially. But if you oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well, that always happens when you're doing a demo. Of course, now he wants to attack me. Oh, I know why. Because
he's attacking you. I thought he was just.
No, dancing. No, it's normal. If you punch a trader, he's not going to trade with you.
don't
because he's angry. He's angry with you. So what I need to do is I need to switch to a user who hasn't punched him. It's a good test. I forgot about that. You can't punch him. Don't punch him. So let me go in as Gary. Gary's the administrator on this server, so it should be fine. I got of course, a lot more UDT, so my rank is higher. And so if I right click, no, it looks like I broke the trader. Oh, that's a shame. All right. Yeah, it's broken. I'll have to fix that. So essentially, the idea was that at that point, you were going to see a user interface that shows you that you can trade items for plot gems, right? So similar to what you've seen villagers do in Minecraft, same thing here. I probably introduced a feature this morning that broke that particular user interface. It's no big deal. So gems will be able to be, you can use them for buying items, you can use them for repairing items, and then the last thing that you can use them for is the battle arena, which I'm going to leave for last. So we're going to get to that in a second. I was also saying earlier that I can purchase things. So I have 3 million Upliftium in my account. I want to purchase a diamond. And so I can do that. I just purchased 1 diamond, and you can see now I have a diamond in my inventory, and my Upliftium balance just went down to 2 million instead of 3 million. If I were to take an item that's not physically something that goes into my inventory, like a travel pass, then it is simply going to increase my travel credits, which just went up by 200, and my balance went down, and nothing was added to my inventory as intended. So there are two categories of blocks: blocks that actually create actual physical items, and then blocks that will increase some statistic that we are managing that improve certain features in the game. Travel passes and trader discounts is one example of that. Okay, there will be many, many more items here. I'm sure the DAO will help us think about what should we add here. Someone already told me, hey, add the healing tree because that's really, really useful. So yeah, why not? Let's put the healing tree there. And there'll be other things as well. So that's the Uplift server shop. Good job at might possibly for the textures. I really like them, so we're going to be using that. And then the battle arena, you've already seen a preview of that with yesterday. Was it yesterday that you did the whole walk with Sam? Was it the day before? Can't remember.
Yeah, it's all fuzzy. Could we see it again real quick?
Yeah. We're going to do the whole thing. So there are actually now two blocks. It used to only be one. One is called the bot manager. And the bot manager is essentially where you're going to be initializing your. So the first time you go in, this is what's going to happen. Let me show you. First time you go in, it's going to be empty. There will be no statistics. I will eventually remove this because it's just going to be no texture, no nothing. It will be empty. Why? Because what we want people to do is to buy a robot pack NFT that will grant you one robot. That's the idea. This is why you see on this user interface, which is new to everyone, including the test server who hasn't seen it yet, that you now have to load your robot from somewhere. And from somewhere means from your NFT. So you purchase a robot pack, you unpack your robot, that will generate a random robot according to the rarity of the robot. There are going to be rarities, of course. And the statistics that you see here will be generated at unpack time of your NFT. Then you go in game, you press the load button. I go to Dennis and I ask Dennis, hey, does he have a robot NFT in his wallet? What are the attributes? And then I load that information into the interface. And at that point, the only thing you can change after the fact is going to be the skin and the name. You will not be able to change the statistics by hand. The only way to improve the statistics of your robot is going to be by participating in fights and by winning or losing, because both of them will award you a little bit of arena points. Arena points is the most important thing that you need to gather, because those improve the statistics that you see here for your robot. The rarity level of your robot will indicate what your starting position will be in terms of the randomization. A common robot will be no more than 10% of the maximum, and a mythic robot will be somewhere around half, will be the maximum that he can get at unpack time. After that, you have to continue to fight to increase and improve the stats of your robot. Okay? All of these items are going to be mutable attributes that you can save back to your NFT and that you can sell on the secondary market later, including the name of the robot. Yes, Corey.
Well, you saw, like, Sam was commenting above right when you first started talking about, you mentioned the bots, and she popped in the comments. Her bot's name is Destroyer, and she totally loves it. Like, it's a thing. People will get attached to this, and by people I mean maybe just me and Sam, but at least two.
So you can change the name. Terminator is what I gave my name. You can change the skin of your robot, and then you press save when you want to make sure that this gets stored locally. That doesn't mean it's saved in the NFT at this point. It only is saved in the actual backend system for the moment. It does not exist yet on your NFT at this point, because you intend on actually using this robot to fight. So you don't want to get rid of it just yet. And then there's a little bit of a rank system here. This is the rank of the robot. Right now it's a recruit rank, lowest one. The more fights it does, the more the arena stats increase, the higher the rank of the robot. As to what that means later, we'll have to figure out which perks that provides the robot. Eventually that will give an advantage, of course. Right now it doesn't. And then the little green bar that you see here underneath the robot, that's the wear level. Every time you fight, the wear level will go down by 1. And if it goes down too low, you will not be able to join the fight. At that point, you'll have to repair it. And the repair, guess what, will require blood gems in order to achieve. So if you want to repair your robot, so first let's go and do a fight, and then I'll do a repair once I've actually damaged my robot. Right now I have not damaged it, so there was not going to be anything to show you yet. And I don't have any arena points just yet, so I can't upgrade my robot yet. At any point in time, I can click on upgrade, and then if I have any arena points available, I'll be able to decide myself where I want to spend my arena points. The amount of increase changes depending on a diminishing return algorithm. So the higher you are up the hill, the slower you're going to the top of the mountain, essentially. If you lose the fight, you're going to be decaying one of your 6 attributes randomly. So there's a penalty for losing fights. Don't overdo it if you think that you're not going to win. All right, so go back. Let's see. So I have a robot. I have saved it. It's now available. I'm going to log in with a second user at the same time. One of the nice things about Mindtest is you can open up as many clients as you want. So I'm going to go and log in as Mighty again. And I'm going to go and purchase another robot for him. There's 1 robot per player at this point in time, not more. Let's see. So I'm going to go to where Gary is, and I'm going to go load my bot. That's fine. Just give it another. There you go. That's perfect. Save that. All right. So now I have 2 players. They want to fight with each other. All you need to do is you need to go to the arena and select the middle block here, and then press join. That will take up one of the 8 free slots that are available. And I need to do exactly the same thing with Gary. And let me make sure it's daylight. It's a little bit nicer to see. There you go. So I join with Gary. I join with Mighty. Normally what you do at that point is you vacate the arena because you're going to be in the way of the robots. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do the same thing with Mighty. I'm just going to go and block the exit of the arena. And then the arena manager, which is a person with extra rights. Right now, there's 4 of us that have this particular privilege to be able to manage an arena. He has to go to his chat and he has to actually type arena start. And that's going to eventually spawn the robots randomly. Oh, he went out anyway. I guess he doesn't want to fight. Well, that's the first time that happens. All right, I'll have to reset and do that again. So normally there's a very nice sound that starts about that. This is why you don't want to play this without sound, because it's a lot less fun in my opinion. But that's okay. Arena resets. As an arena manager, I can at any point in time stop and restart the fights. There are many available options, so I'm going to try that again. Oh, if I do stop the fight and reset, I do have to join again, because we want to give everybody a fair chance for joining a fight. And so it's not going to be fixed set of players and that you have to always wait to join. Every time the fight ends, it's available for anybody to go into the middle and grab a seat, essentially. Now, I do have plans to try and introduce the concept of multiple arenas. We're just not there yet. Right now, it's going to be 1, but I do want to have multiple because we want to introduce the concept of leagues, multiple weight classes, right? And also because I think 8 might not be enough, right? So eventually we'll have more players. And so there'll be a long queue of people waiting to fight. So we probably want to have bigger arenas at that point, in my opinion. All right, so we're ready. Let's try and do that again. This time I'm actually going to block so that they can't go out.
And on the one on the test server, there's like an automatic door that automatically does.
Oh, and also, so what if you try to do this without permissions? You're not going to be able to. There's only one person who can start the arena, and that's the arena manager. There you go. So right now they're going to spawn randomly at any one of the markers, and they're going to fight each other. So they are now. And they change in color depending on their health, and they also increase in size. The more you increase their HP statistic, they will increase in size. Eventually, you'll see robots that are up to 2 times as big. I tried 3 to 4 times, Corey, and what happened is it messed up the physics of the game, like the collision box and the selection box and all that went all wrong. So I'm sure we can get it to work eventually, but we'll have to adjust everything correctly when we do that.
Sure. Even just the whole idea that the size is going to get moderated at all compared to HP is
right now, a robot starts at half the size and can increase all the way to double the size. That's basically what's going to happen. And so the more HP you get, the bigger he gets eventually. And so right now we had one fight, and so one person got 2 arena points and the other one got 1. So if I go back to my robot, I can now see that I have 2 arena points and 1 win. That's the 1-0 means 1 win, 1-0 losses. I'll improve that eventually, that you can see it more clearly. And that means I can go to the upgrade and that I can start increasing. Well, guess what? I'll increase my HP, of course, because that's going to improve how long the robot can stand in a fight. They all have completely different meaning, and I will let the community figure out what they mean, the statistics. But I also have a wear level that went down. You can almost not see it, but you can see here it's a little bit. Oh, hang on, let me go back. It's a little bit black here on the end of the little health bar here, right? So I've basically consumed 1 wear level because I have a fight, and I want to fix that. So I got to go here to the repair shop, and the repair shop says that I have a wear level of 99. And all I can do is repair. But in order to do that, I will have to hold blood gems in my inventory. So if I don't have blood gems, but I do, so I'll be able to fix it. But the other guy, Mighty, I don't think he has. So let's check. Actually, do I have blood gems? Interesting. Let me go to the other guy. I don't think he has any blood gems. So let's go and repair his butt. There you go. You need blood gems to repair butts. So that's going to be another way that another sink, if you wish, to consume blood gems on top of your repair items. So this is also new. No one's seen this before. It's very similar to the robot manager, but its sole purpose is purely only to repair the wear level of your robot. Okay?
Yep.
That's pretty much it for today, I think. Obviously, what you don't see in this particular demonstration is all the items we've created and then thrown into the trash bin and said, nope, we're not doing that. Some of them have quite a lot of consequences, like ability to transfer money from one player to another. Sounds super fun in theory, but in practice, very easy to exploit, especially in mind tests. So we decided not to include that right now into this game. Yeah, that's more than enough, I agree. But we welcome, obviously, feedback about, start thinking about, okay, what does that mean now? So I'll be able to generate blood gems with my lands. I'll be able to use my lithium to purchase certain items. I'll be able to participate in events and win, obviously, awards. Some of them might be a travel pass. Some, we haven't decided exactly. Like the DAO needs to decide with us what should we award people for events, right? And we're working on ways to easily track participation in an event, like a block that you punch, and then it will basically record, okay, this guy at this particular position in the world at that time of the day has decided to join a mid-season event number X, right? Something like that. That's some of the ideas here behind it. And then, the referrals, right? So earlier you saw that, the referral code. My thinking around that is that if I record your playtime and you have been in-game for at least, 4 or 5 days, then you count as a successful referral. And then the person who referred you will get something from us, right? And we have to decide what we're going to give as a referral reward. The person who has successfully managed to get someone in the game to play for at least a certain amount of days. Right. We want to prevent robots from just registering on our web app and not doing anything,
Mhm.
because we're going to get those for sure.
And it's almost, Chris, like we almost have to sort of call through all these new tools and make a list of all the different potential reward elements, right? Because I imagine, like, it seems to me anyway that we could do seasons again, and in a lot of cases, have that be a thing that the sort of DAO working groups take a look at and figure out what we want to do each time.
Totally. And like you say, maybe it starts with a chart where we just put all of the different like tools or data collection methods on one side, and we put all the different rewards we could give on the other side of the chart, and we start figuring out which tools or checklists should get which rewards, and then we can
Right.
start to balance from there.
Yeah, I like
So
it.
I had written a document, the Mind Test Economic Plan, if you remember, and they had a very pretty diagram on it. That's still kind of the goal there. It was that there are different places where lithium can be spent. That goes into a pool, and then that pool has outputs. And what are going to be the outputs, right? So we already know that a portion of that's going to go back to the users who have UDT, like a proportion of the revenue. We know that a portion of that needs to go to those who are organizing events, because we need rewards to be given out to the winner of the events. We may introduce the concept of daily quests that we want users to be able to do, especially new users, for an easy onboarding experience. What do we give those? I mean, right now I'm basically giving them travel credits for just participating in the world and doing and winning awards, the in-game awards, I mean, at that point, not the MITSI event awards. And then there's going to be other sources of places where we are going to have to plot gems are not going to come from us. Plot gems are only going to come from NAND, which means users are going to be selling them in their player-to-player shops to other users. I can envision people who are going to want to sell them for lithium probably at some point. But they're going to be the only source of the plot gems, where there's not going to be anywhere else where you can get them from. So I can certainly see that an interesting dynamic. I think that's a good enough presentation for now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a huge amount of information. Yeah, and I mean, anybody watching this as well, if you want to clip any clips out of this, I will certainly be keeping an eye out and retweeting any favorite clips. I'm sure we'll go through too and try to figure out some sections so that we can post them and make it a little clearer to people. But it's just so exciting.
Yep, agreed. Excuse me. Yeah, this is going to be nuts.
I forgot to mention the export button that you see there in the middle. That's basically where you say, okay, I no longer need this robot. I want to sell it. And so you press the export button. That's basically going to say to Dennis, hey, put it back into the NFT, the mutable attributes. We only want that to happen at that point in time when the user says he doesn't want to do it anymore, because at that point he's saying he doesn't want to use this robot anymore in game. So it's gone. And so it goes to the NFT, it gets stored there, and now it's up to you. Either you use it again or you go and sell it on secondary market. That's your choice. But there's only going to be ever one robot assigned to you in-game. It's bound to you in-game until you press that export button, and then it's no longer bound to you in-game. Until you load it again with the load button, right? That's the whole point of the load and the export button. We can come up with better names, but I found this pretty clear to me. Save to NFT, maybe.
Yeah, it will. We'll figure that, and we can iterate on that stuff too.
So now I'm simulating, loading another robot. Igor, that's a good one. Anyway. Brilliant. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Dennis, and thanks, Chris, for joining us for this. Lots to do.
Right? This was too awesome. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, looking forward to any discussion you guys have in Discord today about everything we've seen.
All right. Cool beans.
Awesome.
Talk to you guys again soon.